This is a proper. I've missed a proper recording thing.
Yeah, it even says like actual recording is higher quality, so that's nice. So, hello,
Hello.
we're back. You're introducing, I'm sure.
Oh, I will.
I can't take the bon appetit from you. I realised I went in very low energy, and I said hello, and I that's my fault. I apologise.
We can't start. Come back. We're just like, how's it? Yeah, how's it going? But people don't know we've spent the last 40 minutes fighting with technology to try and get this to work. So
no,
you know,
that's true.
should we do an intro and then go into? We can include all this still. I think we should include this and then we'll go for the intro.
Yeah.
No. We'll just include it all and then we'll just like from before the intro and then we'll go in.
Do it.
Right.
Wait. Can we do it? It's all of this ramble, and then what happens is just after this end of the sentence, the jingle starts, and then it's the intro. So people are like, it's like the weirdest.
It's a cold open. Yeah.
Yeah.
Hello and welcome to SaaSy as Fuck. Like a phoenix, we have risen. Like Batman, we have returned. And like the cut of bacon from the pork loin of the pig, we're back. I'm John McGreevy and I'm joined by my delectable co-host, Alex McGreevy. Alex Rashford. How's it going?
It's going well. We are not married anymore. We did have a horrendous divorce. The legalities.
That's why we took 18 months off, was because
exactly. Yes. Yeah. The legalities of it, we can't. I don't think we can discuss the court proceedings.
But I got everything.
Yeah.
It's just that's the highlight. That's the headline. Is that I got everything. Not because I deserved it or anything. I just bribed the judge.
Yeah, you hired a professional lawyer. I was just myself, and I just did a very, very budget PowerPoint presentation with Star Wipe animations, which I didn't realise, by the way. Not many people know of Star Wipe animations. I feel like I've aged considerably as I was speaking to some people about Star Wipe animations, and they said, I don't get it. So hopefully...
Wait. Sorry. You can't drop that in there. People don't know what Star Wipe animations are?
No. I think I don't know if it was Windows Movie Maker. It's changed the world, but I remember back in my day, when I was but a wee child, doing my first like videos and things like that, and I had Star Wipe animations. And do you remember you had like the blue background and white text for any like intro? And then my like YouTube experience initially was that, and people now make fun of it as like, oh, that's quite funny, but it's like, to me, that's nostalgia, and it means more.
That's history, motherfucker.
It's history, yeah. You better shut the fuck up. It's history. Anyway,
right.
Hello.
Anyway, so we have the cold open in the bag. We have the intro proper, where I said your name wrong. I implied that we were in some way related, which we're not. Despite both being poncy little boys from Tollerton, we are not in any way related, or I think they said affiliated, but I guess we are affiliated based on this.
Yes, that's the only affiliation we have. Yeah. So if you were coming in, you listened to all of season 1, which was 12 episodes, 11 episodes.
I think we recorded 13 episodes, and there were 11 episodes available. I think is because one we were told afterwards we weren't allowed to put out.
Okay.
I don't remember which one that is, but that was an interview one. And then there was the Christmas quiz, which was pure chaos and about 4 hours long. So I removed that from Spotify because I was just a bit ashamed of it.
But so if you listen to those 11 episodes and you're a big fan, and you've even had access to the other 2 episodes, don't worry, the standard is still the same. We've not changed. We're providing the same bare minimum quality.
What a promise to come back in on, is that we are just as shit as we were 18 months ago. Don't worry. Don't get excited. Oh. We got cold opens. We got video. I mean, it's gone awfully. This is the second time we've recorded this first episode back, because the first episode, my audio didn't work. Mm-hmm. And then for the last 40 minutes, we've been trying to get my audio to work on this recording, to the point where you've had to create a new account on a new tool.
Yeah.
Just to get us in somewhere. So we're killing it, really. This is what the headline there is, that we are absolutely nailing this. This has been just, if anything, we started the first series more professionally and just in a much more organised way. Well,
Yeah,
no, not organised. Well, I get, yep.
I feel like we were trying to prove something. We were trying our best. Now we're comfortable.
Yeah.
So this is what you get.
We now know after a season of this that no one's listening, so it's fine. All the bets are off. We can do whatever we want.
Yeah, this is new season, new us, letting loose. We just don't give a shit anymore. It only took us 4 years. Are we gonna?
Yeah.
Is there a point where we're gonna have like a 5-year anniversary?
I guess
we've only released 12 episodes at that point.
Yeah. Well, hopefully we'll have more. If we haven't got more, then if we just do this one, then do nothing else, then we're a bit fucked. But so we did 11. So technically, if you look at Spotify, there are 11 episodes of this podcast so far. Nice. This is the 12th episode, the dozenth, if you will, episode.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Pretty sure that's a word. And so let's reintroduce ourselves.
Okay.
So, Alex, if you would like to go for... In fact, Alex, as you introduce yourself, I think you should introduce yourself in the context of where you were back on day one. Our first interview, our first podcast.
First interview.
First podcast episode. Where were you since, in context of that? Introduce yourself, Alex. The floor is yours.
So, at the beginning of my first foray into podcasting, I was naive, I was very poor, and I was willing to do any work. And then you approached me and said, "Hey, Alex, huge career move for you. We could do this. I'm not offering any financial benefit." Yeah, but you said the keyword exposure. I got excited, and then that streamlined into a career that just lowered the morals, and now I'm into marketing. So the moral compass at that point got screwed up, and now I'm in the kind of the industry of marketing. But it ended up the reality of it is that you were really, really nice and gave me an opportunity to strut my stuff in production that actually gave me the confidence and experience into doing what I do now. And what I do now is too much things that a lot of people go, "Hang on a minute, I think you just mean you do video." So I am a content producer now, which I like to feel like is a mastermind of magic creation. I do audio, animation, graphic design, a little bit of social stuff and those kind of vertical format content, as well as videos, interviews, case studies, anything usually multimedia. I've probably done a little bit of it, or will probably say, "Yeah, I can do that," and then sweat and stress. Yeah, so that's me. If you'd like to hire me for any multimedia production things, please go to www.alexradford.uk.
Is that right?
Yep, alexradford.uk.
Okay.
And then you can go there and just contact me and say, "Hey, Alex, I listened to that 2-second podcast where you just plugged your website and it was great." And I'll say thank you. And I'll call it the Alex Radford Podcast. I'm just gonna steal all the content that's happened here, but just only my voice clips.
I respect the fuck out of that. If you just do that, it's just you, and then you just fill in my bits with you still. So it's you talking to you.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd watch. So previously we would refer to you.
Yes.
And by we, I would refer to you as an audio wizard, but that is no longer accurate. You're now the multimedia wizard.
I think yes. Thank you. I actually still use your quote for me in my CV when I have to send that over to things.
Was it a good quote? Was it friendly? I don't know what.
Yeah, it was friendly. It was really nice.
I give a reference for you once. That was quite intimidating, I think.
You did, yeah. That was great. There was very intimidating.
Reference to Katie as well. I've been giving references for everyone.
Yeah, there was a point when you were just very professional, and then you started your own stuff, and it's gone off the rails now. Is it?
That's right. It has gone off the rails. Although some writers recently have put me as their reference as well. I don't know what's going on. I spent 14 years as a respectable professional within the technology sector.
Yeah.
I was got some very senior positions, worked on some important stuff, and no one ever wanted a reference from me then. In those 14 years, I had people, I had subordinates in that time. People worked for me. People were paid to respect me. They didn't, but they were paid to pretend to. And none of them put me down as a reference. But I'm realizing now, saying it out loud, that this reflects very badly on me. That maybe in those 14 years, I was an awful manager, and maybe not really someone that people looked up to be like, that guy knows what you're talking about.
I think genuinely it's a very different industry. I think because of what you're able to do now, there's a lot of trust. There's a lot of like having to understand people and communicate in a different way. You having to represent.
I'm also
yourself
good at this, but I don't think I was really, if I'm honest with myself and I look back over my 14-year career as a software tester, I don't think I was very good. And people, I've said this before, and some people have been like, no. And some people have been like, maybe. And that really tells the story that like that was... I think Dan, who you know, who was on the episode that we took off Spotify. Sorry, Dan, if you're listening, which hopefully you're still a fan. Yeah, so I think that the problem I've got as well is that he is one of the best software testers, like not just I've ever met, but like I've heard of in the industry. And I worked with him in like my second testing job, and so the bar was so high that I think throughout those 14 years I spent most of the time going, well, I'm never going to be as good as Dan, so I shouldn't really try that hard. Like you know what I mean? Like if you've...
Yes, yeah. I do get you mean.
If like one of your closest peers in the industry is really fucking good, if he's like Messi and I'm like some guy that plays for Dorset Town, I feel like it would affect my ambitions, because I'm not going to go, well, I'm going to go play for Barcelona as well. All I'm going to do is go, fuck. I think the main thing that we missed in the time off was talking to those people, talking to those experts, learning from people about their story, whether it's their story into starting their own SaaS, or their story with like them kind of getting into like SaaS copywriting or emails, or how they basically went from what SaaS to either a founder or a leader in their area. So we've kind of missed that, and that's we want to get back. We want to start talking to people again, and I just kind of miss having those conversations, because if you don't know, listening to this, a podcast is a real good little hack, because people don't just randomly accept calls with you for no reason. But if you've got a podcast, people will jump on people who've got no right talking to. They've got other things to do. They'll join the pod. They will come on and chat to you, even though you've got, at the time, we had no listeners at the time. And so when James Gill agreed to come on, that was very lovely of him to agree to come on this random little podcast. Since then, he started like a whole new business doing like eco emails, really cool stuff. Might get back and talk about that at some point. Yeah, that'd be cool. Maybe that'd be the 5th anniversary guest with James Gill coming in.
I mean, yeah. Genuinely, he was a really insightful person. Because didn't he start? Wait, this is. He started. I'm flailing because I know that this is a tangent. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to actually be good, and I'm going to say what's happened then, because we did a little bit of recap of me. Yes. I asked you this question, then we went on to 5 tangents. We do this all the time. We need to learn our lesson. Hopefully, each podcast episode is going to be 30 minutes, and at the recording time now, we've got about 8 minutes to basically distill everything about what is new in SaaSy as fuck, what's happened with you, what the future's like, what is the episode context going to be. So, in about 7 words or less, where did you start from episode 1 with that context in mind, and where are you now?
I don't think I've ever said anything in 7 words or less. That just saying that took more than 7 words.
Yeah.
So when we first started SaaSy as Fuck, I had just kind of decided I'm going to try this copywriting thing, and I was still working as a software tester at that time. I was still working full-time for some wanky fintech company in Nottingham. but I wanted to do copywriting. I'd get like a certification during the lockdown in copywriting to learn about it, and I absolutely blitzed that and I adored it. And so we started it and kind of like, right, I want to get into this. How? So I'll talk to some people about the industry more. And so that's where I was. When we started, I'd had like I'd written some blogs for a few years for very little money. And I might have had like one new client at that point. I'd started looking for clients outside of work. Yeah. So that's kind of where I was at that point. Since then, I don't want to use the word giant of marketing because that sounds arrogant. Royalty, again, it sounds arrogant as well, but it's... I'm just the fucking arrogant. Best.
Yeah, of course. Yeah.
No, so for the last 3 years, I've kind of been working with loads of different SaaS brands, writing emails and landing pages and blog posts, helping them with their positioning to help like change their positioning of a whole software, which is kind of a fun but challenging project in its own right. I've worked with some great people, and my experience has been ridiculous. I think the most surprising thing of those 3 years is that I've consistently made money. Like people keep handing me money in exchange for the things I write, which back then I didn't know would happen. We all hope. Yeah. We all go into these things going, well, hopefully people will pay me to do this. But they have. They've consistently, people have given me money for words and then come back and give me more money for more words, which again sounds like an obvious statement, but it's genuinely surprising to me. I'm not someone who's ever been especially confident in myself, my own ability. And so I was half expecting, even when I quit my job at the time to do this, the kind of agreement with my wife Jessie was that, okay, well, I will give this a go, but I will also keep an eye out for software testing contracts and things like that, because, assuming I don't make enough money, I'll have to like top that up with anything. Whatever I don't make with that, I'll pick up contracts. And I haven't had to do that. I haven't had any need to do any testing or other work. I've just been making a living from writing, to the point where Jessie's now like quit her job and has kind of joined the business. That's the extent of how it's gone. So it's gone great. I don't know if I feel that much more confident 3 years on.
Okay. Yeah.
But at the same time is that I know full well that I know a fuck ton more about SaaS and copywriting and marketing as a whole than 3 years ago. 3 years ago, I was kind of like, we had Mark Thomas on, who's like a growth marketing. I was like, what's growth marketing? Googling that, like, what does that mean? And then they come on and I'm like, so growth marketing. And then if you listen back, I probably pretend that I don't know what it is. Yeah. But I don't know what it is. I'm like, I play it up so it sounds like I'm like performing, like, so what is this growth thing? Does that mean that you have Miracle Grow and bang your head in the ceiling? But instead, it was actually me going, I don't know what this really means. And then I even worked with Mark kind of for quite a while after that point. So it's in those years, I guess the problem is that 3 years ago, I was trying to go, hey, look, I'm an expert. Whereas I guess now I am an expert, which feels weird saying it, but I am.
No, yeah, you are. Yeah, no, you are.
So, we did a little plug. So if you're looking for a SaaS copywriter, get in touch. I'm good now. No, hang on. I've always been good, but I'm better now. No, that sounds like I wasn't good in the first place. I'm the best.
Hire John McGreevy, because he's the best.
Yeah, just... Hang on, who is that? I feel like that's Tina Turner, isn't it?
You're going to say... You're going to legitimately say, I'm simply the best. Is that what you're going to be? I have a question.
I simply speaking, I am... Yeah, carry on.
So... speaking, I have a question. I was talking to a copywriter a bit ago.
Hang on, who? Who was this? Who are they? Why are you talking to copywriters? They can go fuck themselves.
I was hoping to
God, give me their address. I will go.
A counter podcast called SaaSy as Fuck. But they were talking about that the kind of like the climate of copywriters. It's everywhere. Like copy is just seemingly everywhere. And I was a bit confused by that statement, because I believe that yeah, that's just the way that the world is. If it's been written, it's been thought about. It's not kind of just willy-nilly. But I suppose what he was trying to say is that people are like trying to lean into these witty catchphrases or some like clever like wordplay for a simple sentence of you can buy a donut for 50p less if you buy a coffee with it. You know, would you agree with that? I feel like it's.
I think people they either tend to overcomplicate it or they just copy what someone else has done. That tends to be the pattern that I've seen over the last few years. Is that, I mean, especially now with like things like AI and the amount of people pushing their templates and frameworks, stuff like that. People tend to have the same stuff. Like everyone sounds like Trello in 2014. That's still pretty much the entire gist of like, most SaaS copywriting. But you're right. A lot of the time, the best copy is just, oh, hey, it's 40% off today. Cool. That's great.
Yeah. I suppose that's the talent of a good copywriter, isn't it? Is that they're able to kind of understand their audience and actually communicate it effectively in a way that is just resonates with them directly.
Not and being flows, like, right?
Yeah.
This is a thing. This is a rant that.
No, go for it.
But I'm not. I've got my own style. Everyone's got their own style. Everyone's got their own preferences. But what I see a lot of is an academic style of writing, like overwritten stuff, long sentences, big words, and it's not about being condescending, but it's just about simplicity, accessibility. If you can write something in 4 words and it gets the same point across and it be understood by more people than an 8-word, like, do it. That's the thing where there's too many people kind of try their hardest to be like, oh, this solution revolutionizes this whole industrial landscape for the world. Like, oh, just say it'll change your life, or something like that. You can just industry leading. There's so many just simpler ways of saying stuff. Whereas people, and this is again where like AI kind of slips up a bit because AI can only copy what's already existing. It looks on the average copy, and most copies crap. So the average it creates is also crap, and it normally uses the same like selection of words and saying things like, it's all about a solution. Everything's a solution to something, and everything is just, I mean, everything right now is powered by AI, which, cool. My website's powered by HTML. It doesn't really mean anything. It's just software. So yeah, I think that you're right though. I think that there's like a simplicity to copy that people don't always get. And I think when talking about software, people get a bit stuck about, they either just talk about the features of the software, which doesn't really have anything, or they kind of just try and make it sound modern and techie, which nobody really cares that much about it being modern, except for maybe developers.
Yeah, I have a feeling that that's the interesting thing, because so obviously your specialism, your niche, your ultra niche is SaaS copywriting. And I feel like that's a really interesting kind of niche to have, because it means that like a lot of the time when you've got a SaaS product, you're often more technical than the average user or the average customer. And because of that, there's a kind of a huge divide between what does the product actually do in simple terms that isn't this overcomplicated thing. And I think from your experience of being like a software tester, you've got an amazing background to be able to translate nerd into customer like needs and wants and what they're after kind of thing.
Well, there's another level than that. Is that when things like for example cybersecurity, which I've written a fair amount of cybersecurity stuff. Not deliberately, but I think there's just quite a shortage of people who can. The problem is you're not just going, right, this is technical, I'll make it. You need to then make it appeal to the developers and their managers, and that's the line across. You've got to say enough where a developer will read it and go, oh, this will solve our problem. Yeah. And it's got to be marketing enough for a manager to go, this will get me a pay rise. That's the kind of the two different levels there, and that's that's the balancing act to get, is that like writing landing pages and blog posts, things like that, where you're kind of really you're trying to talk to two audiences at the same time, because that's the process. Normally a developer will find it, or someone technical will find it, or the IT team or the security team will find it and understand the more technical side. But they then pass that up to their manager, who will often look at it and go, don't know what this does, so no. Whereas if they look at it and go, oh, I see, it safeguards us from, these kinds of threats that cost people millions of pounds of money, then they will kind of understand it more, and they will understand that rhetoric far more.
Yeah, it's probably not a new term, but I've often coined this in my own head as like the B2B to C model of you're trying to communicate to the this is going to sound really marketing, and if you came here for SaaS, well, go fuck yourself. This is now just a marketing little talk for a moment.
Oh, we should mention there's no guest on this podcast. If you're here waiting for us to introduce, I'm like, sure, our intros have been long before, but no one's coming. This is just us. So we'll provide context a little bit more. So I think the future of the way that SaaSy as fuck is, we're going to try and do a bit more building in public. So these will kind of be offshoot episodes that, feel free, you can skip it. We'll be hurt, but it'll function as just a way of us chatting a lot of shit. We get that out of our system so that when we have our guest on, you don't have to worry about the intro. We're barely going to speak. It's just going to be straight questions and that's it. The interview style will be consistent. People will be fans of the style. I was talking to Josh Groffel the other day, and he was saying that we were his favourite podcast he's been on, because the style was much more casual and laid back, and you kind of enjoyed it, and it felt like a genuine chat rather than a lot of them feel like a job interview. So that will kind of remain. The bit that was in the middle of our previous episodes, whereas us having a nice conversation with a guest and good value coming out of it, that will be what most episodes will be just that bit. They won't be bookended with half an hour of intro and outro of us two talking shit. They will be reserved for their own episodes. That's what this is. We're getting, like Alex said, we're getting out of system. We're not going to do that, because if I look here, like the chat with Josh was 1 hour 46. It wasn't. The chat itself was probably like an hour and 10 minutes maybe, with 35 minutes of wank around him. We're not going to do that. They're going to be shorter, more concise interviews, and with the intro and outro will be like, hey, welcome, here's the interview, bon appetit stuff. So that's kind of where we are with that. And we will have these episodes in between. So if you like listening to these for me and Alex talking shit to each other, which I know some people do, some people let us know that that's the bit they enjoyed, great. You're in for a treat. There's going to be episodes that are just us talking shit. But if you're there going, I don't care, just bring me the experts, then great.
Yep.
Skip these episodes. Go on to the ones that's got a picture of a guest on it, or whatever it's going to be. I don't know. Your design. I assume you're going to design the covers for Spotify, because the system we've got here is generally kind of like, because you're the multimedia wizard, go.
Yeah. I will do all the stuff for that, so don't worry about that.
I'm in the process of building as a website though, so don't worry. I am also doing stuff.
What platform or approach are you taking to building that website?
I'm using WordPress.
Oh, good. Safe option.
I've used WordPress in the past. Don't say safe option. Don't say that. That'll upset me. Affordable option is the word you're looking for.
Affordable. It's better than Squarespace and those other builders, because it has an air of bespoke creativity. I know a lot of websites are built upon WordPress because of a lot of the plugins and tools, and it's standardized in such a way that there's so many different tools and resources available for it, so it works.
So as we're building in public, so that's a fair point. So what it is basically, I use Squarespace for my business website, and I don't like the limitations of it. I like how easy it is to get from nothing to a good looking website.
Yeah.
But too often I go to do something and go, I can't even move this thing. I've got to, write some custom CSS just to move this button 2 pixels to the left.
I see.
And that's annoying, and it's limiting. Don't like it. And also it's expensive. It's like 20 quid a month for a Squarespace site, whereas instead I found, I can't remember what it's called now, I can find out quickly, but there's a hosting service that's really good. Skip this version. Why does everything got a new version?
Whilst you are on the hunt for
Go ahead.
whilst you're on the hunt for this, so I host my own personal website, which you can contact me at alexradford.uk, is hosted through Card, and it simply just works as a landing page, and that's it. It is horrendous for SEO. You will never find me on Google, and that's okay because it's just simply a way of demonstrating my portfolio and providing information. If you had like your own, brand or company, and you were kind of confused about websites and that kind of thing, probably WordPress is a better option than using something like those builders, because they have a harder time at optimization. If it's kind of like,
so Card is a landing page creation tool. Squarespace is a WYSIWYG thing like Wix, where it's a bit more limited, but you can kind of get something up and running pretty quickly. Whereas with WordPress, you can just kind of, firstly, the WordPress itself you can host for free. Well, I've used Cloudways is what I've used, and so I can host as many websites as I want on there. If I need to increase the resources, I can pay for more resources, etc. But it's quite an affordable way of getting WordPress up there. And also, SEO is something that is a factor in us. We want to kind of create pages for the different episodes and help get eyes on the podcast more. And WordPress is pretty good for SEO. And I've worked with a bunch of SEO guys. I'm good friends with some, and so I asked them, and they're like, just WordPress. It's just not only that. There's so many resources out there giving advice on how to improve WordPress in some way or another is so much better than nearly anything else. So if in doubt, WordPress is apparently the way to go. Even though I like the shiny new things like Webflow, or there's a few of the builders out there at the moment that look sick. Yeah. But I don't want to be investing all the time in the world. I want to kind of pick like a pretty cool template, adjust it a bit, bada bing, bada boom, podcast.
We had a bit of a chat about this a few days ago, I think, when we were booking and scheduling this call. And I kind of brought you this mentality of the most dickhead-proof lifestyle possible. And kind of a case in point of that is the reason why I'm using Card, the reason why I use some of the tools that I do, is because even a monkey can do something decent with this. Whereas if you gave me just, here's the server hosting, and you could just write HTML, CSS, and JavaScript to create a website, I could do it, but it would look horrendous. And I like press button, go, and I don't have to think too much about it. And
Which is the risk of me using WordPress, is that there's a chance I will make just a shit website, and then I'll send it to you, and you'll be like, I guess, is that finished? Yeah. Maybe I'll have a look. And
is there a mobile layout? I'm confused. What's happening?
Yeah. What's happening? Why does it look like it's already on an iPad, like held that way? Why does it? It all feels wrong. And I expect you fully just to pretend that it's fine. And just go, good website, Alex.
Where can we find you? Should we end this episode?
We should end this. We should put ourselves out of this misery. And so I am available if you go to heyreadthis.com. That is my SaaS copywriting agency, but it's me and my wife Jessie who kind of run that. And we also have some writers as well, but it's like a micro agency, if that makes sense. So we don't have employees, but we have freelancers that we'll work with and stuff. Or people can go to me at linkedin.com/thatwriterJon, Jon. I'm reluctantly still on LinkedIn. I had to leave Twitter because Elon Musk has ruined everything. I don't like LinkedIn, but I don't know what else. I mean, Threads is there, but I don't know how good that unit is. I don't know. So I'm on LinkedIn if you need me. I mean, ideally just message me, or I was about to read out my phone number. Don't know. I'm not going to start reading my phone number out. Just get in touch, or john@heyreadthis.com if you want to email me. Just get in touch. How about you, Alex? If people are looking to hook up with, not hook up, that's the wrong word. Sorry, Katie, if you're listening. I don't mean that. So if you want to hire a multimedia wizard who can do audio and video and animation and images and all the other stuff that I can't do, then go to Alex Radford.
Yes, yeah, that's it. Well done.
Awful domain, by the way. You really gets you dead, Mac. .uk. Ooh.
I know.
I guess .co.uk was taken, right?
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was. You can find me at Alex_the producer, where I will be putting a lot of like the behind the scenes stuff of what I do and what I work on. So if you wanted to have a bit of a nosy about my portfolio, I will try to post on there as much as I can.
Will you be posting things about producing this podcast?
I will, yes. I've done one episode. I will probably episode 1 image. I could do stories. I could do reels.
Picture.
One picture. God, I'm a multimedia wizard. Not good with words though. But
that's what I'm here for. That's why we're the perfect team. Right. So thanks for listening to SaaSy as Fuck. We are back. We'll be back soon with a guest. Might be Joel Klettke, might be someone else. It'll be a surprise. Bye.
God, what are they letting themselves into? We can't show this to anybody. I've got to fucking edit it as well. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, that's rough. That's rough. This is this is your podcast too, so this is your fault.